Hey there, Ruben here for TechAttack.my, giving you a first look of the Nokia X smartphone that was just being launched today in Malaysia. So I'm just going to show you around real quick. So first of all, the display is 4 inches. It has about 480 by 800 pixels. That's around 233 ppi's. So actually, we're just going to jump straight into this one. So the cover is actually removable. So you can actually take it off, revealing the back where the battery sits in. You can actually change the battery as well. It takes 2 SIM cards and 1 micro SD. The micro SD takes up to 32 gigabytes. Okay. And the camera is actually 3 megapixels, fixed focus, and no flash, of course. So going back here. So powering this device is Qualcomm Snapdragon 8225 processor. It's actually a dual-core 1 gigahertz CPU. It has 512 megabytes of RAM only, and it's actually running on Android 4.1.2, a forked version of Android. So it has the Nokia X skin on top. So Nokia X, it actually takes a bit from Windows Phone, half from Windows Phone, and the other half from its Asia series. So on the right you have this is called Fast Lane. The Fast Lane is where it will collect apps, recently used apps. It will also push notifications right on top. So if you receive a phone call, it will show up on top. So I just took a photo and it will show up right here. And over here there's a store update, 7 updates. So if I get like messages, it will show up on Fast Lane. And if I scroll to the left, this is where the live tiles are. They're not that live compared to Windows Phone, but the photo gallery here, when you take new photos, it will replace the thumbnail with the latest photos. Now, it doesn't have an app drawer, even though it's based on Android. So everything that you install, it will show up down here. So the more apps you install, the more it will collect down the screen. So you have to keep scrolling down. And it's not arranged alphabetically, of course. So powering the device is a 1500 milliamp hour battery with a standby time of about 28.5 days on 2G, of course. Color options in Malaysia, we have 4. So black and white, of course, and then we have bright green, which is this one, and bright red, which is actually not quite red, it's a bit orange. So continuing into the menu, so the settings button is right here. Oh, by the way, the tiles are movable just like you would on Windows Phone, so you can actually drag it around. So it's not arranged alphabetically, of course, but you can resize it, you can make it big, make it small, but it doesn't go wide like Windows Phone 8. But anyway, so we're gonna move it back here, and I'm gonna launch it. So, oh, by the way, this button, the home button or the back button, that's all in one. It's adopted from the Asha series, but since now it's based on Android, it behaves a little bit differently. So if you press back, it will cycle through the fast lane and the live tiles. But if you're in an app, if you're in a few layers of menu, pressing once will go back, but if you press and hold, it will go all the way to the home screen. So going back to the settings, it's quite the same as the Android's menu layout. So you have Wi-Fi on top, Bluetooth, followed by data counter, which is actually on Android 4.0 and above. So since there is no menu button, so Asha and the Nokia X platform uses this tab right here, which you can drag up and dive into the advanced settings. Going back, it's like pressing that button once. So going down further, you have dual SIM features, sounds and vibration, all the typical settings you would find on Android, including storage, by the way. And going all the way down, you'll see about phone. I'm not sure if you can show this one. I probably could, I guess. So it's on Nokia X software platform, version 1.0. It's based on Android 4.1.2, I think. And of course you can check for updates here, as you would on Android. And what else? Oh, developer options. So USB debugging is enabled by default. So I'm going to go to security real quick, because on Android you can actually sideload apps if you go into settings. So so it looks like you can also do it here. So it's not enabled by default, so you just need to turn it on, accept the warning, and you're good to go. So to sideload apps, you have to actually transfer the APK into the micro SD card slot, and it is then accessible from the file explorer, which is somewhere. Oh, there it is, Astro File Manager. So theoretically, you can also sideload other file managers like perhaps ES File Explorer, among other things. So if you're from Android, I'm sure you're familiar with Astro. So I'm just gonna... You can even hook it up, which is pretty slick. So you can hook it up to all your cloud storage devices. And... oh. I'm gonna skip this. I guess it's trying to connect to each and every of the cloud services. So we're gonna just skip this for now. Alright. So here's a look at the first look at the software of Nokia X.